Hello everyone and welcome to my first travel video. I'm very excited to share this video. I just got back from New York and it was my first time to New York and I had a great time. And one of the things that was my goal for this trip was to pack with only a personal item. I've never wanted to check luggage. I have had no reason to check luggage except for one trip. But that was like my first international trip and I was away for like a month. So I felt like I needed all of this stuff when in reality I didn't. But it was my first trip. Basically ever since I've traveled since then, I have wanted to cut down on what I carry for various reasons. It's nice to only have one bag, nothing to worry about. Sometimes when you have a carry-on and a personal item, it's just kind of a lot. And sometimes trips are short enough where you don't need that much. Like there was one trip where I went to Florida for literally like 2 nights, but I didn't have like experience packing like this. So I did bring a rolling carry-on and a personal item backpack, but they were both kind of empty and I didn't really need to do that. But I've gone on a few more trips since then and I've practiced with just a carry-on, but now this is just a personal item. So when I think about personal items, I've always thought of them being very small. And this one is not super small. If you don't recognize this bag, it's the Allpa 28. And I think technically the dimensions for this are a little too big to be a personal item. On some airlines for sure. But they're like only an inch or two off, and because this is a soft bag, there's some squish room. So I flew Delta and there was plenty of room. Like even like from the bottom to the top, there was plenty of room under the seat, and there was enough space next to the bag under the seat for my jacket that this, I don't know if it would have fit in like short way first, but it might have if you squished it. But anyway, I was a little concerned about this because I have a hard time like visualizing the under part of the seat, but I had read on Reddit about people using this and it being fine for them. So as of April 2025, if you're flying Delta, this definitely fits. And it wasn't super stuffed full, but even if it was stuffed full, I'm sure it would have fit. So just a basic overview of the bag if you don't know or haven't seen it yet. There's backpack straps on the back, which are actually very comfortable. And on my first and last days of this trip, I was carrying this around with me. And it was very comfortable. Like it felt like I was wearing a backpack, but I was definitely fine wearing it. And there is shoulder straps or like a sternum strap. And then there is a waist belt. Why can I not think of the name right now? That can stuff in. So this is super nice. It's thick. It's not like a thin waistband. There's no cushion on it, but having it be able to tuck away made me, and I actually didn't use this on my trip, but I totally could have. It made me feel like, because you know, sometimes when you see a big backpacking bag, there's like a big waist belt and everything, and it just makes it look bigger and more intense. But when you tuck this away, it just makes it look like a normal backpack. So This is the newer version of the Allpa 28. So there's a water bottle pocket on the side here, and it actually fits like my 18-ounce Yeti bottle, and I was gonna bring that, but then because my day bag was my Baggu Crescent bag, I decided to bring a smaller one. And if you know me, you know I love water bottles. And so for me to only bring this, a 12-ounce bottle, as my water bottle was crazy. And I don't know how I feel about it. It was definitely convenient because it fit in my bag, my Baggu bag, which was my day bag. But I am definitely dehydrated because I was not drinking water. But at the same time, even if I had a bigger bottle that I was carrying around with me, I don't think I would have drank in it, because I get anxious sometimes about having to pee and finding a bathroom. So I wouldn't have had it anyway, so I would be dehydrated either way. So at least I was only holding 12 ounces of water. It was enough to make me comfortable that I had some water in case I needed it for some reason. And then I also have one of my clips, just a carabiner clip. And then I also have a little clip-on light that I didn't use, but it would be useful if you're walking around at night. And then there's grab handles on the top, the other side, across from the water bottle. And then there's a grab handle on the bottom too. Back here is the laptop sleeve. And then before we go into that, we have our little zipper up here, which is just one little pocket. Our larger front section over here. And then the main zipper. So quickly in the laptop compartment, I usually like to bring a device wherever I go, or whenever I go on a trip, because it makes me feel a bit more comfortable. Even though I have my phone, sometimes it's nicer to just have a bigger screen. I actually did not use my iPad at all because I only brought my iPad. So I'm glad I brought it, and I'm glad I brought it, but I didn't use it. So that's something I can think about for the future. And then I also brought my journal, and I journaled so much on this trip, and it was so nice. So always got to have my journal. Always. And I just put my journal in here so it would be easier access, instead of opening up my whole backpack, but I was planning on putting that inside. But I liked it in here. It worked for me. Okay, in this outside pocket, we have lip balm, hand sanitizer, some mints and cough drops, which I was very glad I had, and then some electrolytes. So just some basic things, another lip balm. And all of these things I was very glad to have. Loved the little hand sanitizer. This is a little spray hand sanitizer from Bath & Body Works, which I would only recommend getting because of the small bottle. And you can untwist it and refill it with your own once you use it up. That having this small bottle is just really nice. And I prefer spray hand sanitizer because you can use it on your hands, of course, but you can also spray it on other things if you need to, instead of squirting gel into it. So in here, I had my wallet, and this is a little wallet I got while I was there, which looks so cheesy, but I like it. My wired headphones for my phone, which I did use. I have some other electrolyte drops, I love these buoy drops for travel because there's a lot of servings in one little thing, and it's much easier to put in a drink or a bottle. 2 packs of gum, which is just basic, I think. I always like having gum. I have my mini bagoo bag, which I bought when I got there, but I love the mini bagoo size. Large enough to hold like a meal, like imagine like enough to take a lunch to work. So this is good for groceries, or if you are going like in the airport and you just have a few random things that you want to hold on to, but you're not necessarily packing. Like when I went into the airport, I got food before I got to the airport. And then I put it in here, ate it before I got on the plane, and then packed it all away. So I highly recommend this, specifically because of the smaller size, and it folds up very nicely. And it folds up more flat rather than maybe bulky. So I recommend having some sort of reusable bag. Okay, my power bank, which I actually only used once. I have a fork. I did not use this at all, but it would have been useful if I needed it, but I wouldn't necessarily like go out of my way to pack that next time. And then I have my phone charger and the bag that it's usually in. And then in this front pocket, there's also another smaller pocket with a key leash, which is very nice, because I find it very annoying that you have to carry your keys. Like, I had to carry my apartment keys everywhere in New York, even though I was nowhere near my apartment. Okay, now to the main compartment. If you have not seen this bag before, in here there is a small compartment up here, a medium compartment here, and then a large compartment here. And this compartment is pretty thick. It's like most of the bag. But the thing that I never was clear on about the Allpa bags before getting this is that this packing cube area does not end here. There is not a fabric divider because, well, I don't know why, but there's no fabric divider. So you can fill up stuff like behind here. Like I can reach up behind here. But if you put stuff in here from this end, it will affect the amount of room you have in here. So that is why I tried to only pack with this area. So let's go through that. So in this top little zipper compartment, I have my lock. This is my one that I prefer to use, even though it's kind of heavy. But I had these other locks in case the hostel locks were too small for that. Yeah. But I didn't use them. I have my other bagoo bag, which this is the full-size bagoo bag, which is still pretty slim. And this would have been nice if I needed it for more groceries. So I don't regret bringing this. And I recommend bagoo bags because they're just cute and they pack down pretty well and they have fun colors and I just enjoy them. The bagoo store in Soho was one of the places that I wanted to go on my trip, so I sort of just mashed that together. I brought my passport, even though I didn't really need it. For me, personally, I don't get nervous carrying my passport around. I would rather have it than not have it. I know some people do not like carrying this around unless they need to, but I am not that person. And then I have a little mini first aid kit, this is probably more bulky than it needs to be, but it's fine for my purposes right now. I have some Band-Aids and some just basic medicine. Thankfully, I did not need that at all, which is beautiful. Okay, now in this section, I have my toiletry bag, which I will go through, my sketchbook, which I did use once or twice, and I was trying to make it a point to use that because I brought it. My pencil case, I was gonna bring a lot more than this, but I like really pared it down, so it was very small. My other Bagoo bag, which I bought there, this is the big Bagoo bag. I went to Muji, so I got some stuff. So those are my souvenirs. And then I have my Nomadics towel. Now, some hostels give you towels, some don't. I would bring one just so you have one, because sometimes you have to pay for them too. The thing about this one is that it kind of takes up a lot of room, but it is a large towel. Like, I can wrap it around my body if I needed to, do that. It can also be a beach towel or an extra blanket or a yoga towel or something, which is what I like about bringing the bigger one. I had been considering buying a bandana size one, because if you just take the bandana size one, dry yourself off in the shower, you don't really need a full size towel. But I like having this. For toiletries, I don't think I'm going to go through it fully in detail, but I like this pouch because it has a little loop on the end, so you can I clipped my clip to it so I could hang it from what I needed. Okay, so we really just have the basics here, right? Okay, toothpaste tabs, toothbrush, floss, deodorant, perfume, hairbrush, Q-tips, face oil, and then always a little bottle of Castile soap because you can use it for anything. Okay, and then last is clothes. Well, almost last. I have my shower shoes and my Bagoo medium crescent bag, which was a great day bag for what I needed. I was worried about clothes because there was not a ton of space here. Generally, when I travel, I like to bring a hoodie like this just because it brings me comfort. I have the hood. It's the long arms are good. I can wear it during the day. I can wear it if it's cold at night on the plane. It's just comfy and cozy, and I like having one. But I also wanted to bring this black quarter zip hoodie, and I had to decide. I could not bring my favorite hoodie. I decided to bring the quarter zip black one instead. And that was nice. I definitely want some type of hoodie either way. The one I brought is definitely a bit more fashionable, which I enjoyed. But the sleeves are too short for my arms. So it didn't give me that comfort factor that I usually look for. I didn't have to wear it at night. The temperature was fine. But I do like that it has a hood. I always need to have something with a hood. So right now my clothes are a little disorganized because I put them in my little laundry bag. But we're just going to go through because I'm pretty happy with the clothes that I brought. So first I brought this Okay, so the other thing that I wore on the plane were actually these Old Navy joggers, and they're nice and black. They're sleek, I guess. I felt comfortable wearing them walking around the city, but also comfortable for the plane. So I liked these. Then I have this Nike quarter zip, which is a little thinner. It's not really a warmth thing, but a running thing. I wanted a long sleeve shirt just in case for layering. So I brought this, and in case I didn't know if I wanted to go for a run, so I just brought this because I could wear this as a shirt too. but I did not wear it at all. The other thing is that I was planning on bringing it throughout my days in my bagoo bag in case I needed an extra layer, but I did not end up needing that. So, something to consider. This held my socks, underwear, and bras. I brought 4 t-shirts, just like basic t-shirts from Old Navy. Okay, so the other pair of pants I brought were these Old Navy Billy trousers. They're like kind of like dress pants, but they have a drawstring, and I just like wearing these. I just like these pants. I wouldn't say they're necessarily like great travel pants that could like last through everything. But they were great. They were comfortable to walk in. And they like they looked the way that I wanted them to look. So then I went to Wegmans and got a reusable tote with the Statue of Liberty on it because I think a fun souvenir is like stuff from like normal places, like a specific type of grocery tote or like a pen or a spoon. I brought 1 pair of like bike shorts and 1 like oversized t-shirt for my PJs. The clothes worked out pretty well. My hostel did have laundry, so if I wanted to do that, I could have, but it was kind of a goal for me to try not doing laundry and see how it went, and I think it went well. Normally, I would not. So what I did was I wore these joggers the first day. I wore my other pants 2 days in a row, and then I wore these on the plane again. And normally I wouldn't want to do that. I would want fresh clothes for each day, but I think everything was okay. I felt okay, and like I just showered, and I think it was okay. The last thing is the shoes that I wore. So I only brought 1 pair of shoes. I have my shower shoes, like hostel slippers, and then my zero shoes, like more athletic looking shoes. They have some like yellow and blue stripes on it that I would have rather preferred the shoe to be all one color for this specific trip, but they were fine. I really like those barefoot shoes. I'm comfortable in them all day. I was walking like 20,000 steps a day, so they were great. They were good on the plane. I'm used to the barefoot shoes, so they work for me, but I wouldn't just buy barefoot shoes and hope they're okay for you. You kind of have to get your body used to it. But the other good thing about barefoot shoes, and they're not the weird ones with the toes in it, they look like normal shoes, is that they're very thin. So if I would needed to pack them in my bag, I could have. Like, let's say it was going to be more snowy or rainy, I could have worn boots and still fit those shoes in here with all of this stuff because of how thin they are. So those are the shoes I wore, and I was really happy with those. Maybe in the future I'll purchase a color that kind of fits the vibe that I want more. But yeah, so this is what I brought to my trip. And it was a great trip. I had a fun time. I mostly just walked around, got coffee, went on the subway. It was really chill, really nice. I was really thankful that the weather was sunny and it wasn't rainy, and I was able to do things, and it was just a good experience, and I can't wait to go back. And I'm excited to go on another trip to another place, only bringing a personal item, and to just see how that goes. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little something or got something to think about. Let me know any thoughts or questions you have in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time.